not dig this, bro. But dig this.
Pop music, undefeated since conception. Now, a lot of people, including myself, hate pop music. But I also like pop music. Now, let me clarify. So, the thing is, man, pop music is the easiest form of music to just hate. Hate with the passion. I mean, I don't know, man. I've gotten to the point where I've taken a strike from radio just to like not even by mistake hear some of this stuff. But anyway, dude. So the thing is, pop music, it's like it's a tricky thing. I think Quincy Jones said something like, it's easy to make a pop song, but it's very difficult to make a good pop song. And that kind of makes a lot of sense because, like pop music is like low hanging fruit. I mean, everything that is like obvious is in pop music. I mean, people, they like love, people like attractive people in the videos. I mean, people like to hear, easy to listen to harmonies. And it's just, man, it's just so easy to just accept it, There's no effort. It's like watching TV. Like, the reason why you can watch hours of TV is because all you do is sit there and just watch it. You don't have to do, the only commitment you're making is you're sacrificing time that you could be doing something else. But if you have nothing to do, I mean, how much are you really sacrificing to watch TV or watch a movie or, anything like that? Same with pop music. It's just so easy to just have it enter your life. And one, it's because it's everywhere. I mean, you can't run away and escape pop music anywhere unless you're isolated, off the grid. And I don't know, man. It's just that's why pop music is king. That's just the way it is. So the reason why I don't like pop music is because of all those things I just mentioned, but also the repetition, man. It's like, even if like, if I don't like something, I'm the kind of person that'll be like, all right, I'm not really into that, so I'm going to avoid it, but sometimes trouble finds you. And, if you're at work or you're in the car or just in a store and the music's being played and it's this pop, there's a mega hit, and you just keep hearing that same song over and over, man. You're just like, you know what? This song, I didn't think it sucked that much, but man, after hearing it as much as I'm hearing it, now I realize it totally sucks. And I just hate it. Hate it with the passion. So, but that's just one way to look at it. And obviously, I mean, music is a business. So to have a good business, you want the most customers. And because pop music is so open to everything, it's easy to get a customer base because, it attracts everybody. There's some things that are like universal where if you're a human being, it's gonna, push your button somehow. Just on a human level, there's gonna be something about a pop song that at least makes you like interested for a split second, whether or not, you get into it after that, it's hit or miss, And let's face it, most consumers of music, I don't mean like purchasing consumers, but people who consume music and listen to it, they're not that critical, man. You know, because I mean, how it's like watching the TV. I mean, how much of a sacrifice does it take to turn on YouTube and watch music videos or listen to Spotify in the car and stream? I mean, very low investment, dude. So anyway, and plus pop music takes away from other music that I like, and I'm sure other people are interested in. I mean, there's only so many resources. Of course, pop music is going to eat up most of those resources, you know, and that sucks, man, because, you know, you're like, hey, man, I have no personal investment in this pop thing, and yet it just is stealing all the oxygen in the room. And that sucks, because the music you like and are passionate about, it's getting tossed to the side and ignored, and there's only so much room at a music festival, you know. It's the chances of your favorite artist playing at a music festival, like one of these big ones, pretty rare, dude. Anyway, so, but if you're like a total pop head, then you're in the right space, because I mean, there was a time, dude, when, I mean, we all got into music at some point. I remember listening to music when I was a little kid in the 70s, and it was on the radio. So obviously it was pop music. But the pop music I was listening to, you know, in the 80s, that pop music became classic rock, which is kind of hard to believe that, you know, pop music when I was a kid was stuff that is like, you know, Rolling Stones, Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Wonder. I mean, these are like artists that are, you know, pretty respected these days and pretty legendary. Of course, today's pop stars are also legends, because to be in music and be a legend, I think you only have to be like popular and maybe sold a lot of records. I don't know, dude. Talent is all subjective. I mean, who knows? But anyway, dude, so yeah, man, if you're into pop music, you're in the right space, and the world revolves around you and your music. Eventually, after listening to pop music for a year or two, eventually you're going to want something more, because pop music is just such an easy fix. I mean, it's just like, it's serving everything to you right on a platter, you know, and it's just so easy to just take it. And, but like I said, after a while, some people, not all people, but some people, they demand more. And so they start their journey in music, and they're eventually going to end up in a place that is far away from pop music. You know, there might be like I said, like even myself, there might be like a place in your heart for nostalgia, you know, pop music that you grew up listening to when you were young, you know, and a kid. But yeah, man, new pop music, it's hit or miss, and most of the time, almost all the time, it misses with me, man. So that's why I hate pop music. Why do I like pop music? Now this is interesting. Probably, I don't know, maybe the last 10 years, because I was, you know, when the internet was really pumping and people were putting out content, and all of a sudden you had all these perspectives on music, you know. I used to watch people complain about pop music and all of this stuff, and just watching these videos of these people complaining, kind of like how I was just a minute ago, you kind of start to like look at these people like, man, you got a big stick up your butt, you know? It's like, you just see like someone who is just rigid and just stiff and just a sourpuss, man. It's like, man, why is that? And then so I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what, man? Pop music, it serves a purpose, because like the thing is, nothing brings people together better than pop music. Now, I know people they might be like, hey man, what are you talking about, dude? Like when I go to underground shows, the people there, we're a tight-knit community because we understand each other, man, and the music brings us together because no one understands. It's like, yeah, that is true, but how big is that community compared to, going out to a bar, with your friends, probably that you haven't seen in a long time, or maybe you go after work with some buddies and you're drinking, and then everyone's having a good time and they start playing this pop music. Then your mind starts to kind of like, you start to loosen up, and you're like, you know what, having a good time with my friends, drinking a little bit, it's like a festive mood, we just had some good food, and now they're playing the hit, whatever the hit of today is. It's on the radio, or not the radio, dude, but it's in the club playing, or the bar, or wherever the hell you're at. And everyone's kind of grooving to it. And then you're kind of like, you know what, man? This song's all right. Because, when you're in that mode where you're just like relaxing and carefree, it's almost like then you're open to pop music. Then you're like, okay, you know what? This is all right because you're not taking it serious, man. And that's just it. You got to know when to loosen up and have a good time. And being the biggest critic that I am about pop music, there's a time and place for everything. I hate pop music on a daily basis. But when I'm out and it's a special occasion, and, I got my guard down and I'm having some drinks with some cool people, and it's a nice environment, and yeah, if the music they're playing is pop, that's all right, man. I'm open. And then you start to hear it, everything's kind of silly and relaxed. It's all good, man. And even if you're like being silly and having a real good time, then that pop music, it just hits home, man, because you're acting stupid and you're listening to stupid music. And hey, man, that is a winning combination for having a good time, right? Anyway, so there it is, man. But in the end, like I said, man, these little, communities of people who come together for underground music, I'm all about that. But man, the big picture, man, pop music is so huge. And in that scenario I described about just having a good time, when you're having a good time with a lot of people, like if you're traveling around to different places in the world and everyone is united under good food, having some drinks and listening to some pop music, well, I guess you just can't beat that. And it's been that way since pop music began. That's it, man. That's what I think. Am I wrong? I don't know, dude. One person's opinion. So anyway, yeah, hope you liked the video. Subscribe or not, like or not. I don't even care about any of that stuff, dude. But I gotta say it. So, peace and vinyl.